Well, moving on to Web2 walled gardens, Google has been doing some cool things.
They have more kind of evidence of adoption happening when not just governments, but big companies like Google itself gets involved. Now, this is funny. I enjoyed this story primarily because it taught me something that has been around for 5 years now, and I didn't realize. You can basically use Google as a block explorer. Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. I always, aside from them being the big behemoth that, is terrifying in all these different ways because they control search and do whatever they want with it, I did like Google Analytics. I always liked, how much big data, how much they were able to kind of handle big data and make it useful for you and everything like that. And I always got a kick out of that. So finding out that they also hold 11 they've added 11 networks. So initially they put Bitcoin on in February of 2018, and then Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and then with this announcement, they are adding 11 more, including Polygon, Optimism, and Polkadot. The name of the project is called BigQuery. For public data sets. And I don't quite understand what they mean by when they describe it as a serverless and cost-effective enterprise data warehouse. Like, yeah, cost-effective, definitely. I'm not sure what they mean by serverless. Honestly, the term kind of throws me a little bit because it does give you the ability to, maybe you don't have to run your own is what they're kind of saying. I don't know. But it gives you the ability to kind of tap into blockchain data, do searches on it. And then because there's multiple now, you can actually kind of start learning things about how they interact with each other. Or there's a couple of examples that they give here. Data queries might focus on the number of NFTs minted across 3 specific blockchains, fee comparisons between networks, or how many active wallets sit atop chains that are compatible with the EVM environment. Very, very important. It kind of reminds me of in the mid-90s, there was articles coming out kind of questioning, well, how many actual internet users are there? Because the web you can kind of count, the internet you kind of can't. It's really hard to. And even more so, blockchain networks. It's really hard to count how many active users there are. We figured out various different ways, like a wallet that holds above a certain amount and has actually been active within a certain amount of time is probably a person. But I have multiple wallets, so how many people is it? I don't know. That's why people really stopped talking about how many users of Web3, and they just talk about how many wallets are involved. But they've also added support for the Ordinals project, which, if you're not familiar, it's basically NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. So honestly, it's cool stuff. We actually met with someone from Google, I don't know, a couple of months ago or so, and they've got a little team there that is all about Web3, and they see the future and they want to be a part of it. It also reminds me of the mid-90s when AOL added a web browser to their software.
Go to the web.
And it's like, it was necessary, obviously, and at the same time, it also ultimately spelled AOL's doom. Like they kind of, were trying to say like, hey, we're not behind the times. Like, we've got this new thing tool. You should stick with us. And plenty of people stuck with them for years as a result. But
they did it
very
because
relevant for years.
Users were becoming aware that there was a difference between kind of the walled garden of AOL service and the open jungle of the web. Just to, as a point of clarification for folks, this BigQuery service that Google is offering is a service that you pay for. So it's not just like you can go to it and look at stuff. It's that, people building stuff would use it to store the information that they want ready access to. So it's 2 cents per gigabyte per month. So it's
of retrieval or of storage?
For all stored data. And then long-term storage pricing charges a flat rate of 1 cent per gigabyte.
The blockchain is, I don't have my own
for all
blockchain. I would just curious, very curious. I tried to actually try to sign up for it and use it. It's a little bit convoluted to go there, but
it's supposed to keep your data in active storage, which means it's kind of one of those. It makes me think of
that's what they mean about the retrieval time from actual blockchain. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it makes me think
your parts of what's getting stored on the blockchain in
similar
cache.
to the graph, I would think, where it's like keeping stuff that you want.
Yeah. Findable,
ready instantly. Access to it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Well, anyway, cool stuff. We'll see what it ultimately means for Google. If it either means that they're just going to make themselves the universal block explorer of all blockchains and thus stay highly relevant, or if it's just going to lead the masses off of their centralized web. Who knows? Only time will tell.